we are going to move along to our fourth battle. As we can see, it is Lunar, Lynx, and the Bullet Punch Club. I will introduce Lunar Lynx here, played by Milo or Lynx, playing for the Black LGBTQ plus Liberation Inc. There's an ad break starting. We will pause it after I introduce Lynx. Currently 11 plays at 6 and 8 of the Mega Pokemon of this team, being the Mega Ampharos at 5 and 3. The OU, we have the Gliscor at 14 and 11, with the Iron Moth at 2 and 3. For UU, we have the Reuniclus at 3 and 3, the Needle Queen at 2 and 7. For RU, we have the Milotic at 10 and 8, the Magnezone at 3 and 7, and the Grimmsnarl at 2 and 3. For NU, we have the Chandelure, recently being brought now and has been doing really good at 3 and 2, the Emboar at 8 and 9, and the Klefki at 1 and 2. And for PU, we have the Dipplin at 1 and 7, the Phalanx at 1 and 1, the newly traded Dusknoir at 0 and 1, even though it was Rhyperior when it was first. We're not going to talk about that. And then the Aurorus at 1 and 4. We are going to move along, but we're going to pause the recording. We're going to pause right here for the ad break happening in 7 seconds. Now that the ad break is, I think, officially over, we're going to move on as we just introduced new links, and now we're going to introduce their opponent.
Bullet Punch Club, led by Hide, or, Rain, or whichever name you want to use. They are playing for that's a habit. Hide is playing for Transactional and is currently sitting in 8th at 8 and 6, with their Mega being Mega Venusaur at 4 and 4. Perfectly even record.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Is that an Adventures? I've never watched it.
Yeah, yes. For OU, we have Scizor at 2 and 5 and Thrilledge at 16 and 3. Double digits again. For UU, we've got Revavroom at 3 and 1 and Heliolisk at 5 and 4. You good? I heard that.
I yawned.
Okay. For RU, we've got Umbreon at 2 and 2, another balanced one. For Alligator at 13 and 9, and Armrouge at 2 and 3. You can kind of see a little favoritism between the two armor.
Just a little bit. A little bit.
For NU, we have Altaria at 3 and 4, Cinccino at 0 and 2, and Gligar at 2 and 4. And for PU, we have Doxbun at 2 and 5, Farigiraf at 2 and 1, Hitmontop at 3 and 5, and Toadscroll at 2 and 3.
Let's move along to the fourth battle. The starting lineups of these two teams, I should say. Not the battle. Where are you?
I'm leading, sorry.
Oh, I was like, what? Is it something happen? Anyway, the Lunar Lynx, we see the Emboar, we have the Milotic, the Mega Ampharos, the Phalanx coming back after a long time, I believe. I think it's only come once so far. We have the Chandelure and the Aurorus. With the Bullet Punch Club, we have the Feraligatr, the Cerulege, the Gligar, the Revavroom, Farigiraf, and Umbreon.
I will say, if we do keep doing Megas in future seasons, I am very interested to see if the tiers don't change by next season.
They most likely would.
But I'm also not sure what tier it's in right now. I'm very curious to see what Mega Phalanx can do.
Yeah,
if anyone picks it.
Honestly, it's kind of strong. I used it for one of my random challenges, and it's a pretty strong Pokemon. I had a lot of fun playing it, but
also Emboar and for Alligator.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. I will say personally, I do like the Megas a lot more than I like Terrestrialization. I think the Megas have a little bit more.
I'm just realizing there are four new Megas in this battle.
Chandelure too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
For me, the Terrestrialization I think was just a little bit too much of a wild card. It's really hard to plan around Terrestrialization, I think, but it's a lot easier to plan around the Megas. So if we do introduce Terrestrialization, I do think I'm going to limit it to only a certain amount of Pokemon can Terrestrialize. You don't have every option. I think you pick the Pokemon you want to be able to Terrestrialize, but they can be Terrestrialized into any typing any week. So like kind of
Yeah,
balance it
okay.
like that maybe. Instead of just every Pokemon can terastallize. I think just set like maybe we have a team of 15, we have one Mega, which obviously can't terastallize. Struggling. One Mega that can't terastallize. And then we have like 2 or 3 Pokemon that can terastallize into any. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We will plan that out in the off season.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move right along. For the fourth battle of the 15th week. The Lunar Lynx are going to lead with the Milotic, with the Bullet Punch leading with Gallows, the Feraligatr. This immediate switch into Ampharos, with the Crunch doing some good damage to the Ampharos, but getting the paralysis with the Static. The immediate switch into the Gligar, though, with the Mega Evolution coming through. The Thunderbolt, though, is going to be a good move predicted, but the Earthquake is going to outspeed and take down the Ampharos. Milotic comes back in. The immediate switch back into the Feraligatr, though, with the Ice Beam, of course, being a resistant hit now. The switch back into the Phalanx now, with the paralysis, though, coming through. The switch back into the Gligar, with a Rock Slide missing the Gligar, unfortunately. The switch back into the Chandelure, though, with the Dual Wing Beat hitting, doing some good damage to the Chandelure here. But the Flamethrower is going to hit, doing a lot of damage back, and getting the burn as well. The Earthquake is, though, going to be enough to take it down, even though it was halved in its attack stat. The Aurorus comes in, the immediate switch into the Revivroom, though, with the Meteor Beam coming or being used, boosting special attack, and hitting, doing a lot of damage, even through the resistant hit. But the Iron Head, though, is going to be able to take down the Aurorus. The Phalanx comes back in with the close combat, outspeeding and taking down the Revivroom. Theraledge comes in, the switch back into the Milotic, though, with a switch back into the Gligar. A lot of switching happening this turn. The burn is going to slowly chip away at the Gligar, with the switch back into the Feraligatr. The Ice Beam, of course, being another resistant hit. The switch back into the Phalanx, with an Earthquake being used, doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough. Bringing to about half its HP, with the switch into the Theraledge. The close combat, a good switch from the Bullet Punch Club. The switch back into Milotic, with the Poltergeist hitting, doing a little bit of chip damage. Is Theraledge going to switch back into Feraligatr? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
The Scald, though, hitting, being a resistant hit again. Another switch back into Phalanx. With the Earthquake doing a lot of damage. Is it going to switch into Theraledge? No, it's not. It's going to Aqua Jet and take down the Phalanx. The Milotic comes back in. The switch back into the Gligar, though, with the Ice Beam able to take down the Gligar because it is quite effective. Umbreon comes in now with an Ice Beam, doing a little bit of shit damage. Umbreon is an absolute tank. The Calm Mind now being set up by the Umbreon. Absolutely terrifying here. He switch back into the Emboar, though, with a Calm Mind, another Calm Mind being set up by the Umbreon. But the Umbreon has to switch into the Theraledge, with a superpower, of course, being immune to hit because of the Ghost typing. The switch back into the Milotic, though, with a Poltergeist hitting the Milotic again, doing some good damage to the Milotic. He switched back into the Umbreon. Scald hitting, doing a little bit of damage. Doesn't get the burn. No burn. Leftovers recovery for each side of the field to switch back into the Emboar. No Wish being used by the Umbreon. He switched, though, into the Feraligatr with a superpower taking down. The Wish is not going to be used here. Feraligatr comes back, or not. What is happening? Switch back into Milotic with a close combat, doing some good damage back to the Milotic. Not enough to take it down, but it might if it hits it again. No, it doesn't. It switches back into the Umbreon, but the recover is going to bring the Milotic back to over half its HP. This is a long battle, chat. Ice Beam is going to hit, doing a little bit of chip damage to the Umbreon with the Foul Play, doing a little bit of damage back to the Milotic. Another Ice Beam hitting, a little bit of chip damage, with the Calm Mind now being set up by the Umbreon. Switch back into the Emboar with another Calm Mind being set up. Is it going to switch? Is it going to switch back into Theraledge? No, the Head Smash is going to hit, doing good damage to the Umbreon, but the Wish now being used. The switch into the Farigiraf. The Head Smash is going to miss. The unfortunate miss. The switch back into the Milotic, though. Oh my goodness. The Psychic doing some good damage. Not enough to take down the Milotic. With the Nasty Plot now being used. Ooh, Nasty Plot's pretty scary. The recovery going to bring it back to full HP. With the Nasty Plot, Psychic's going to do exactly half its HP. With the Ice Beam, to do a little bit of chip damage back to the Farigiraf. The Nasty Plot being used again. with the recover now being used, next spell's going to do, it's like it's going to do a lot more damage now, nearly taking it out and getting a special defense drop, but the competitive boost, the Scald, doing a lot of damage, not enough to take down the Friggrath. The Friggrath is going to stand tall and able to take down, get it, stand tall, take down the Milotic with Emboar coming through. The Psychic is going to outspeed and take down the Emboar. What a good battle. Another 42 turn battle, chat. Very good battle between these both teams too, huh?
Stand tall.
Don't. You know exactly what I said. You know exactly what I said. That was a good hacking game, though. Really good switches on both ends. Lunar Lynx,
my goodness,
doing really good with those switches. Like, really good predictions, really good, again, really good switches. That head smash miss, though, I think is what kind of was the downfall there. But very good games on both ends.